Welcome back to Mixtape 51. I'm Jade, and on this channel, I discuss everything photography. And on this one, recently, I was looking at purchasing either like the Fuji X100V or the Fuji X100VI. And I was really thinking I was going to get the X100V that's, used at a lower expense, kind of get my feel for the camera, see what it's like. But when I looked into one key feature of it, I realized that it was not something I would really want to keep in the end. And so that's what this video is all about, is, in my particular case, two key features that I am addicted to. And hopefully this may help someone that is a beginner, or even maybe not a beginner, but I know for me, when I was beginning, it was really tough to figure out what were key things that you would really, not want to live without when it came to a camera body. So the first key feature is IBIS, which stands for In-Body Image Stabilization. And that's ultimately where your camera is able to stabilize the sensor inside the camera body. And, older cameras, they had really incorporated systems that would try and stabilize your lens, but it was never really as good as the IBIS that you get nowadays inside a camera body. And so the bummer with going back to the X100 series, the bummer with the X100V is that it does not have IBIS as compared to the X100VI that now does. Now the X100 is a little bit of a, there's some things I like and some things I don't. I don't really like the fact there's a fixed lens, but the one thing I really wanted to delve into was the fact that it had built-in ND filters, which for me is huge because I love taking long exposures of cityscapes and capturing, any kind of transit or other movement within the city. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. And the whole point of being able to use an ND is to be able to get slower shutter speeds. And if you don't have IBIS, you really ultimately are going to need to use a tripod. Now, when I first started photography, I was dragging around a tripod all the time. But since I've been using my more updated Fuji bodies with IBIS in it, I really have so many times just not found the need to have to drag around the tripod anymore, because the IBIS is just that good, to where I'm getting down to a fourth of a second, a sixth, and having no problem capturing the kind of images that I really enjoy. And so anyways, that's my first one, which is IBIS. I just think it's so huge now for being able to have that flexibility, and it's one of those things that I feel like I just can't live without it anymore. Now on to my second feature that I feel is pretty crucial at this point for me. And it's one of the big factors that really separates why I have a camera body over something like my iPhone. Of course, you've got standard things like quality is going to be better and things like that. But one of the biggest factors for me is an articulating screen. And there's a couple different versions nowadays. You've got, like, for example, on the XT3, XT5, screens that just go up and down and then out vertically. And then you've also got fully articulating, like in the XT4 that I'm shooting on right now for this video, where the screen actually comes all the way out and you can see yourself filming. There are camera manufacturers, I want to say it's Sony, that has actually created a screen that does all the features. I so wish that Fuji would incorporate that into their cameras. They haven't at this point. But that being said, for me, it's just a crucial feature now that the body has that ability, because, so often to try and create a unique composition, you're either way above yourself or you're way below, or maybe you're out to the side, or you're doing something vertical from way below. You're ultimately trying to get, some sort of unique angle to maybe add to the story, or add to the, giving you maybe more provoking thought about the image, or maybe to capture light in a certain way. So I really think it is such a crucial factor to have an articulating screen at this point. Now, speaking of articulating screens and the fact that Fuji has, either it seems one version or another. It'd be great to hear what's your version that you prefer. For me, it's always been the version that's on the XT3, XT5. But I have to say, nowadays, I'm a little bit more partial to having something like the XT4 version where you can film yourself easily if you need to. It's maybe not as fun when you're doing photography, but ultimately it's more flexible. But again, it'd be great to hear from you guys and what your preference is. So those are my two big criteria that I look for now in any camera body that I'm going to buy. I have a really, really hard time buying anything that doesn't have those two features incorporated. This video was really to try and kind of open up a conversation. I'm hoping to have more conversations with anyone that may watch the videos. So please chime in. It'd be great to hear from you what your criteria may be, or if the criteria that I have are just not a thing for you. Maybe, your camera is always on a tripod in a studio and it just doesn't matter to have IBIS. And so it'd be great to hear from you. But other than that, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.